So let's talk about the Kamala Harris and Joe Rogan situation, right? This is something that I've been following since Trump appeared on Joe Rogan, and I came on and suggested that it would do Kamala Harris the world of good to actually sit down on the most popular podcast in the world. Trump's episodes probably done over 40 million views now. Who knows how many on Spotify. I've said it would do her the world of good to sit down and just have a normal chat, a normal conversation with Rogan. It's now coming out that she has requested that he travel to her with a little mobile studio and only do an hour with her. And there'd be like questions that there a room full of her people saying what he can and can't ask and all this sort of stuff. How is that a long form conversation? Let's read this article now. We're talking about this on the Daily Beast, I think it is. Right, here it is. So Joe Rogan, I wasn't being a diva. Joe Rogan reacts to backlash over failed Harris interview. I'm not sure this is failed. It may still happen. I don't know if there's any chance. She had an opportunity to come here when she was in Texas. Rogan said, I literally gave them an open invitation. So this is an article from yesterday. Obviously, the hysterical Democrats are blaming Joe Rogan for it not happening because she's so important that for the first time in history, he should get a mobile studio and go to her to do her a favour. Let's be honest here. He'd be doing her a favour. If she is the person that everybody wants to vote for, what is she hiding? If she's the person that everybody's so excited to vote for and they can't wait because she's such a great person, why doesn't she want people to know the real her? Is what I want to know. She wouldn't get an audience like this to listen to her in these numbers anywhere else but here. And she's acting like somehow she's giving this little podcaster an opportunity to come talk to her. That's not what she really... They're playing it that way. They know that what they really mean is they can't trust her to speak for 3 hours because she'll make a prat of herself. I wasn't being a diva. Joe Rogan reacts to backlash. And by the way, don't start crying in the comments about me saying that Trump also made a dick of himself on this podcast. But at least he had the balls to make a dick of himself and let everyone see who he really is for 3 hours talking normally with somebody, right? Get out of your echo chambers and stop crying and whining about everything, all of you. Here we go. She had an opportunity to come here. This is what it says. So there's Rogan now. Joe Rogan, they're still not going to stop people whining, especially left. I can feel it coming. Joe Rogan on Thursday went into detail about why Kamala Harris, unlike Donald Trump, did not appear on his massively popular podcast. Massively popular podcast. Massive audiences, right? Everybody would have got an opportunity to see this person be her real self, and may have swung some people in Texas and everywhere else to vote for her in these swing states where they need the votes. Even though I'm just a Brit and don't know anything about American politics, I still know there's swing states, and I still know that people can be swung in the swing states with things like this, right? Did not appear, insisted it wasn't because he was being a diva. The Spotify podcaster, who previously revealed that he declined an invitation from the Harris team to travel to her for an hour-long interview, remained adamant that it was not unreasonable for him to want the vice president to come to his studio in Austin, Texas, and for it to run his standard 3 hours. You could look at it like this. Oh, you're being a diva, Rogan said on Wednesday's episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, but she has an opportunity to come here when she was in Texas. I literally gave them an open invitation. Let's quickly see if I can make this a little bit bigger there. I literally gave them an open invitation. I said, anytime. I said, if she's done at 10 o'clock, we'll come back here at 10 o'clock. I go... I'll do it at 9 in the morning. I'll do it at 10 p.m. I'll do it at midnight if she's up. If she wants to drink a Red Bull and fucking party on, he continued. Rogan revealed that Harris's team had reached out to him soon after it was announced that Trump would appear on the influential show. But it was very difficult to tie down because of all of the, can't do this, better ask that, don't ask this, don't talk about this. He explained that he was worried that if he travelled to Harris, too much of the interview would be on her team's terms, referencing Fox News host Brett Byers, whatever that says, claim that Harris aides signalled him to end the conversation, the contentious interview with the Democrat nominee. Of course they did. I mean, both teams do this. But one of them has gone on a long-form podcast and actually had a conversation for 3 hours with no edits. One of them did that. Everywhere else they go, no matter what you say, and Trump totally didn't want to debate her again because he didn't have the courage and he didn't go on 60 Minutes. We all know this, but he did have the courage to show everyone who he really is for 3 hours, and everybody needs to know who she really is. That is my point. If I go somewhere, then there's got to be other people in the room, Rogan said, and they want to control a lot of things. I'm sure according to the Brett Baer, I think I'm getting his name right, interview on Fox, like people are waving him off. That's a distraction. My whole goal with her and him was to just talk, just have a conversation like a human being. You find out things about people, you get a sense of them at least. That was it. I don't give a fuck what we talk about. I really don't. I just want to talk to you. Who the fuck are you? Exactly. And him and Trump started talking about UFC and all sorts, right? There's like a list of questions. What would you do with this policy? What would you do? It's kind of helpful to know. And whatever you might think about him, and I think he's a dick, but whatever you might think about him, I've read loads of comments saying that, like, just to see who he was, it might have swung there that he comes across more human now, even though he was bragging the whole way through it, and it was a bit cringe. During Rogan's wide-ranging 3-hour conversation with Trump last week, the former president suggested that Harris would not be able to handle a Rogan interview. It's not even an interview. It's just a chat. She's not going to do it, Trump told Rogan, and added, I hope she does because it would be a mess. She'd be laying on the floor comatose. She'd be saying, call in the medics. Rogan dismissed Trump's bluster, though. I think we'd have a fine conversation, he said. I'd just try to have a conversation with her and hopefully get to know her as a human being. And that is the end of that article. So people have been saying that somehow, like, it's always someone else's fault, isn't it? It doesn't happen so, well, he should, with his audience, she's so important, she's so busy at the moment, he should go to her. All I'm saying is, and I say it with the politicians over here all the time, and everywhere in the world, because believe it or not, even though I don't know anything about American politics, politics, the way it's done around the world, is the same, really. People telling you what you want to hear, not answering questions, dodging this, dodging that. I'll only answer this question. Don't ask me this. Then you get the news companies that will favour one over the other and edit it all to be like better in their favour and all that sort of shit. All I ever wanted was politicians to sit down and have a normal conversation about normal things for a prolonged period of time so you can kind of get a feel as to who they really are. Like, what do they really believe? What rather than the answers, you better say this. When someone says this, say this line. And the hysterical laughter you get from her. Like, if you're all so excited, if everyone wants to vote for her is so excited and thinks she's such a great person, you should have really wanted to see her for 3 hours, because it'd be so entertaining for you watching this wonderful, exciting person give all these wonderfully exciting answers and show everyone who she really is. But instead, as usual, there's all this partisan crap that everyone does with these echo chambers that they sit in. You see no wrong in your candidate and all wrong in the other candidate. Both sides do this, right? So rather than just saying, you know what, she should have done that, none of you can bring yourself to do that because that would be a concession. So you have to say, well, why should she? Just because he did, she's better than that. Go to her for an hour. That's all you get. Yeah, but the favour would be for her. She would get to speak to the country, to the world, for ages about random things. So it leads me to believe that they don't think, and she doesn't think, that she's capable of doing that. Without being completely stage managed, being given answers beforehand, and edits to help you out afterhand, they don't trust her to do it. And she doesn't trust herself to do it. I think Trump made a bit of a dick of himself on there. But they trusted him to do it, and he trusted himself to do it because his ego's out of control. Let's understand that. But she ain't even got the balls to do it, and people are making excuses for her, making it it's a good thing that she didn't do it. Lies! What do you think? Let me know. I'm Matt. This is Whatcast. I'll see you later.